jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
What's good, WCS? Back on the boulevard once again. First in the building. You already know, pop on deck. Salute. This gonna be another good one. What's good? What's good, everyone that's tuned in? Appreciate you. It's Saturday, man. It's a little bit going on here and there. Shout out to the Go Big Blunts and Boxing on deck. This one gonna be golden. What's good, man? Appreciate the content. Appreciate the soldier, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, dropping the gems behind the scene. I appreciate you, bro. Real talk. Be sure to hit the like button on the way in. Don't play games, no doubt. No doubt. Shout out to I Am Cam on deck, man. One love to the Archbishop WCS, the apostle in the building to lift the hands and spread the good news of boxing. Amen. Amen. Y'all better get prepared for Sunday service tomorrow, because y'all have a lot of repenting to do. Stop playing. Stop. I rebuke. Stop playing. Cam on deck. I've been waiting on this one. Samad Warren on deck, man. Peace and blessings, beloved. Salute WCS. Salute to you, Samad. You already know, man. You already know. Stick 'em boys, fishing and sports on deck. Salute WCS. Salute to the chat fam. Shout out to Toby Bartley on deck, man. Salute WCS in the chat. Yes, sir. Salute to YouTube, man. Shout out to Toby in the building. So, I always like to kind of do a warm-up, but in this case, no, it's not needed. Let's get down to it. Listeners, please, try your best to just take in this information. And for those of you that has a slight to severe case of tendinitis, do the best you can and listen to what I have to say on this particular subject matter. Now, as of recent, for whatever reason, people have seemed to get a little bit of touchy about, my delivery or whatever. This is not anything new in how I speak to my audience. You know what I'm saying? So don't try to make it personal. You know what I'm saying? None of that. Don't try to make it personal. But this is once again highlighting some points about the current unified welterweight world champion, the one and only Errol Spence Jr. You already know his record. Just in case you forgot, because I know the aerosexuals are jumping up and down right now with their hand in the air to my I'll do it myself, okay? 28 victories, 0 defeats, 22 knockouts. He's aged 33. Pay attention. He's 30 years of age, 33 years of age. He's a southpaw, 5'9.5" with a 72-inch reach, right? Okay. His last fight was April 16, 2022, like I mentioned yesterday, and he's coming up on the year anniversary. I've also put the forewarning, the pre-warning out there, rather, for Bud supporters and everybody else that is not an aerosexual to be extremely careful and vigilant when it comes to tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Tomorrow will be Sunday, and expect something wild. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be something that you expected, but you're gonna say to yourself, why did they have to go to that extreme? You know what I'm saying? Like before, I mentioned how they was running into traffic and everything, and people was getting ran over. Yeah, they're gonna be absolutely elated tomorrow on the year anniversary where he was able to pick up the WBA title. Now, moving forward, shout out to Mr. Gooch. The second half of the Apostles is in the building. Big shout out to you, that Gooch. One love to my guy WCS. I can't wait to hear what we got. Man, what we got, man? Come on, stop playing. One love to my guy WCS. I can't wait to hear what you're cooking on. I see the apostles are here and supporting WCS. Keep spreading the good gospel boxing. Absolutely, no doubt, man. It's always good to have the apostles on deck. You know what I'm saying? Good spirit. But I don't know, man. It's gonna get a little different in a little bit. So yes, please. It may be a point in time where I need to stop the live so you all can have the congregation bow their heads in prayer. Real talk. Some things might come out, and people may feel like this is not what God would want. You know what I'm saying? All I'm doing is just giving you fair warning. Shout news to Sauce Experience, AK Showtime. Shout my guy in the building, man. Team Tucker on deck. Spencer's in his feelings, talking about his own YouTube fans, because that's only ones on YouTube that speak on him. Champ needs a date. Dang. And don't let that go over your head. Don't let that go over your head. Champ needs a date now. Don't let that go over your head, people. Don't let that go over your head now. Shout out to the OG Bruce Gas Boxing Jazz and more. Salute to you, brother. Salute, brother Scotty. Hope you're good. I'm good. I'm good. How about you and your family, man? Hope all is well your way. So, as you all know, man, those of you that tuned in, right? Last night, I was just going over some topics as far as, certain things that we're actually being able to see play out in the public eye. And one of those situations is the fact that Bud Crawford released a photo, a gym op photo, right? And he looked like he was in extreme good shape, like he was conditioned. Like, I'm not talking about the boxing shape, as far as his conditioning, as far as his body fat percentage, as far as looking the part. Bud Crawford looked to be that. Now, my whole life was, in comparison to, what we just seen in the vehicle. You know what I'm saying? The infamous freaking parking lot, you know what I'm saying? Chill factor. I just did 10 more minutes. The door cracks open. Somebody reaches over, clear the scene, and identifies that the phone is live. Once that information was transmitted to Errol Spence Jr., he then, in awe and shock, he looked down at his phone and said, "Oh, what the fuck?" See, at that time, he had thought game over. He thought game was over. The look on his face, man, it was a heavy look. For real, he had a heavy look to it. His whole face looked heavy. He thought he had been on there longer than what was out there. See, the crazy part about it, we don't know who he dropped off. We don't know who was in the vehicle prior to it. How can you, unless he was in there playing with his phone, he was nodding off. I don't know, but it's very, very difficult. It's not a one-step process to go live on IG. But he determined, when he looked down there, and he was quite shocked, and he was able to cut the live off. But me, pretty much touch on the fact that he did not address the aerosexuals at all. That was the problem. One of the problems I had. He did not address the aerosexuals when he cut that live off. People look, dream. I mean, I'm talking about they bite their nails, man. They yearn for this moment to see this man out here on live. We was able to see a single aerosexual there in the live chat, once this video starts circulating. He goes by the name Dookie Duke. You know what I'm saying? He was there to my king. But anyway, it's not about him. All I was doing was making a point that I believe that him not acknowledging the aerosexuals out here really put them in an uproar. It sent them in a downward spiral again. They're in shambles right now because what they believe was Arrow was about to acknowledge them coming up on the year anniversary of him picking up the WBA title. Him picking up the third title basically completed the heavy lifting excursion that he was on in the welterweight division. His first title he picked up, the IBF Championship, Kell Brook. Then he fought Sean Porter for the WBC, and then was able to go in there and fight Yordenis Ugas for the WBA. At that point in time, the aerosexual was happy. They was talking about how much heavy lifting he did the entire time. And like I said before, you couldn't find a happier group of sheep on the motherfucking farm anywhere. Texas, and looking out into the open plain and seeing a huge group of sheep just circling around, running and running and running and running. And you think, no, they was just happy. They was just happy with it. You know what I'm saying? They thought this man was going to acknowledge them and thank them for all the lack of support that they was giving him since he stepped in there with Yordenis Ugas last year in 2022. And then coming up on this year anniversary, which is tomorrow. My title is, will he ever fight again? Okay. The reason why I put that up there, because I'm unsure that we will ever see EJ back in the ring anytime soon. When we saw Crawford post the pics and we saw Errol Spence, the way he looked, he did not look like he was in any type of fighting shape, right? But something disturbing has been going on, especially since my live. I did have a surplus of aerosexuals in my chat last night. As Showtime was bringing to my attention, I think he made a very, very valid point that one of those feral aerosexuals ran back, jumped over the barrier, low crawled through the concertina wire, and delivered a message that WCS had made some comments about him going live accidentally, and basically giving him a summary of what I said. I'm pretty sure some aerosexuals went and told. I'm pretty sure Showtime is spot on with that. But recently, some tweets have raised some red flags again for me. You know what I'm saying? Some tweets have raised red flags, people. These are not just any tweets. I believe some of these tweets are from Errol, and I believe some of them is from his girl. But we're just for the sake of it, I'm going to say that he is the one that's behind pressing the enter. All right. And this all happened in recent hours, man. So it's a lot of red flags is going up on these recent tweets. So check this out. Let me start by reminding you all that when this guy, after the news had broke, that he had an accident, and it was viral. I mean, the news had broken everything, right? I remember, I remember distinctively seeing this tweet to go out before they made him take it down. And it said, "No broken bones, I'm a savage. No broken bones, I'm a savage." See, people, I went over this several times before, and people wanted to just overlook it and gaff it off. And I'm saying, cool. But I was trying to explain to people that was saying I was hating months ago, years ago, that Aerosmith would never be the same. I told them that broken bones had nothing to do with it. Unless you break that brain stem, unless you break your neck to the point where you can't recover and you're brain dead, that's different. But he said, "No broken bones, I'm a savage." And I've been trying my best to explain to people that when it comes to soft tissue, vice broken bones, the one that you can win with and recover is broken bones. The soft tissue, depending on where that damage was and how severe it was, pretty much you're gonna have residual effects. All right. So when Spence said, "No broken bones, I'm a savage," it just sat with me for a long time. It just sat with me because I'm looking at it like from riding bikes as long as I have and seen a lot of my people pass, right, with helmets on. They didn't break no bones. A lot of these cats didn't break no bones, but they had soft tissue damage. That include brain trauma. So when I was made aware, you know what I'm saying, of these new tweets that have surfaced, right, I said to myself, God damn, Errol might have paid attention to my live. His people might have paid attention, because people are all about link sending. You know, on here you have what is called the admin boys. The admin boys are always grabbing links and then submitting, you know, to the DMs of Errol Spence. You got them admin boys up here always filling out paperwork. So I wouldn't be surprised if they took my link and went and showed them. I'm not saying I'm the only one that was talking about it, but it's funny how all these tweets start coming out after I did a live stream. Now, no broken bones, I'm a savage, bro. It's becoming a daunting reality, because at the time, just because he didn't have broken bones, I tried to explain to people that is just far from the real situation. It's very far from the truth. Like when you take yourself, your physical anatomy, your whole entire skeletal structure, and is ejected from a fast moving sports car, a vehicle, and any type of mobility, and you are propelled, ejected, and land on the pavement. If you trying to tell me that these aerosexuals who refuse to speak on this, right? You're trying to tell me that he can knock his teeth out and still be okay? The man was messed up. I even have pictures of when, you know, when he was all scarred up. I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna put that up there. This is not about that. It's about the recent information that he's been, you know, his behavior, mannerisms, right? So you're trying to tell me the man knocks his teeth out, and all the aerosexuals are doing is talking about him, you know, getting new teeth, getting implants. He had to wait till he's cleared from, you know, the implants that he was getting and everything like that. And then they sit up here and made excuses when he was fighting Udenis Ugas as to why his mouthpiece didn't fit right. Because come on now, we can't do that. But let's get to the first tweet. All right, let's get to the first tweet. This is imperative. Please lean in. So you remember when Errol Spence said, "I don't apologize for the inactivity. Hopefully it'll make sense in a few weeks." We was on here talking about, like, man, I hope it's, you know, a few weeks. What is this about? You know, a lot of people was motivated in saying it might be indeed Terrence Crawford. So now he's giving us a hint. The one thing WCS don't do is go off hints. I don't try to basically complete the sentence of these boxers who always sending out subliminal tweets. I'm not gonna lie, I frown upon it a little bit because you're talking about grown ass people puppetizing the media. It's puppetizing because however they want to dangle the strings to get us to go up here and assume what direction they're trying to go, they'll send out subliminal tweets, right? So he put out here, I don't apologize for inactivity several weeks ago. Hopefully it'll make sense. All right. Keep that up there right quick. All right. Peep this out. So this recent tweet that came out from this listener 14 hours ago said 2 fights in 3 years and 7 months now. 2 fights, 3 years and 7 months. I did a live on this not too long ago where I was explaining the hiatus that Errol Spence has been on since his accident. And look, it's crazy how certain people who I thought was age appropriate, mature, when I was talking about this situation, that they will understand where I was going with it. I sat up here and heard people say that Errol Spence was okay. Like he went in there and fought Danny Garcia and he was okay. I couldn't believe what I was listening to. I said, you cannot be that stupid. You cannot be that naive to believe that this man, just because he came back. So what was WCS? What was my response? I said, he can come back and fight Danny Garcia all he wants. But he landed on the pavement. So therefore, being that his profession consists of him being touched up and taking punches to the head, and being that the head is pretty much the capacity for which your brain holds resident, and your brain being the headquarters of neurological communications, he's going to continue to have residual problems as he extends his career as a professional boxer. That's facts. So he goes in here and beats up Danny Garcia, who received the orders. No one's going to convince me otherwise that Danny Garcia didn't receive the orders. He absolutely did. They're from the same place originally. They're friends. You seen them sitting down there at the Rolly Romero and Gervonta Davis fight. You seen Ryan Garcia go up there and bet Errol Spence 20 grand like a idiot. They was cool. See, the wild part about it is when I explained this scenario about Charlo and Spence back in the day, I remember some people coming to me and saying certain individuals talking shit about, just talking shit. But yet I was basically giving you the play that Danny Garcia and Errol Spence did. We know Danny Garcia had the orders. Him and Yordenis Ugas went in there and got beat up all the same to make it look good. All right? To make it look good. Not to mention the promotion of Umbra that they fight under. It was easy for them to make those fights. That's the beauty of taking the easy route. That is the absolutely beauty of them taking the easy route. And he went in there, moved around with Danny Garcia, who had to sell it to the crowd. And he sat up here taking punishment. You know what I'm saying? Punishment. Yordenis Ugas gets his eye swelled up and face swelled up, following Lawrence Cole telling him to stop with an extended P. This man, eye and face, all of a sudden became swollen when he stopped fighting. He was having success with that. You feel me? He was having big time success with that. I tried my best to explain to these people that you're in the sport of boxing and it's not going to be healthy for Spence to continue his career after that accident when he's being punched in the head. And guess what? It's playing out right in front of the aerosexuals, and those cowards still don't want to speak on it. Because think about this. The last time he was signed up for VADA was prior to the Sean Porter fight. He fought Sean Porter September 28, 2019. Since then, he had one fight in 2020. That was the post-pandemic. He fought Danny Garcia. And then he came back, missed all of 2021 because Jacob McAlooey went up there and touched his eyeball, made his eyeball jump out and dance on his own. And he had to get that shit fixed. Then came back in 22, April 16th, and fought Dennis Ugas. So this guy right here saying 2 fights in 3 years, 7 months, he's not lying. The part I'm trying to help people understand is that accident really knocked some years off Errol Spence's career. And he's not going to be able to extend his career for a long period of time to the point where he's getting approved by the commission. I'm telling you that what it is. His situation is quite different than Israel Vasquez back in the day. Israel Vasquez eye was seriously damaged with a point he had to sit out for a little bit. And he came back too early, took some more damage on that eye, and then some more damage to the point when he finally had to get out the sport because his vision was fucked up. He ended up losing that eye. But the one thing about Errol Spence is when you talk about faculties, right? When you're talking about having your faculties, when you're talking about dealing with the neurological headquarters, when you're talking about answering questions, when you're talking about processing data, how can you do that? It may be some medicine that's out there to help this guy remain sharp. Okay, but he's in a sport where he's being punched in the head. Now, if he was in a whole nother profession where he wasn't taking damage both in sparring and on fight night, then I would say, okay, it may be a possibility for him to get healthy to a point, to extend it, because it's possible the longer you stay from taking punishment, I'm pretty sure the doctors and everybody else, but it's a bad situation, y'all, all around, no matter how you look at it. And this is why I say that, because the damage that he took that put him in this position did not happen because of a fight. This situation happened because of his negligence. His negligence basically placed him in a situation where he wrecked his vehicle and was ejected. So you're talking about insurance. No promoter is responsible for any residual effects that's going on with this guy from being ejected from a vehicle. None. So it gets real dark. That live that you seen accidentally, it gets real dark. Extremely dark. So this guy right here says 2 fights in 3 years, 7 months. Vacate the belts if you ain't fighting. Okay. All along, people are dropping in my DMs acting like I'm getting personal. Errol Spence responded to this guy, strip me. Strip me. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't want to sit up here and say, okay, strip him then. No, I want him to keep those belts so Terrence Crawford can pick them up in the right way. I want it to be a fair, sanctioned bout, right? When it comes to the administrative work, which those aerosexuals know all too well. I want this fight to be signed, contractually agreed upon, sealed, and delivered so we can see these guys in the ring. I don't want him to be stripped. I don't want him to happen to be, forced to come off these belts. So I want these two to step into the square, y'all, on everything. On everything. I want these guys to be able to step in the ring so we can see a fair fight. Oh, my fault. I said that F word. I said the F word when it comes to fair. At this point in time, look, here we go again. Errol Spence is on here like he was when the information hit the airwaves about the negotiations falling out, and whoever, him or one of his team members said, "Oh, it's been tough out here making this weight. I've been at welterweight for so long. You know what I'm saying? It's just tough making this weight. So that was the excuses back then in 22. Now moving over here to 23. Now the excuse is going to be that, well, he was going through some things. He had the bad accident. There's going to come a time where the aerosexuals are going to have to tighten up their motherfucking belts. They're gonna have to come to a freaking a moment. They're gonna have to hold themselves to a moment of integrity. And they're gonna have to say, you know what? He was fragmented. They're gonna have to come to, he did F up. They're gonna have to hold this man accountable for his negligence. And go, because you're talking about the aerosexuals. These guys had all the faith that he was who he said he was. Now, I've been on record as saying, if we're talking about the Errol Spence before Sean Porter, and that was a guy that was right here, if he cleaned up his act and he wasn't involved in that substance, the alleged substance abuse and all that other stuff, then you're talking about a fighter that would get a little bit more from me. He might be more competitive in a potential fight with Bud Crawford. But prior to that situation, prior to him stepping in the ring with Sean Porter, he was already a repeat offender. Am I right or wrong? He was a repeat offender, man. He has been on record as saying it was his fault. He made it difficult. He ballooned up in weight, and he had to chop all that. He had to drop all those damn pounds, doing fight camp. He said it. So now you're talking about Errol Spence saying, strip me. Now it almost seems like he's capitulating, right? And we don't want any capitulation from this dude. We want him to honor the contract. We want him to stay firm on his 10 and get with his manager, Al Heyman, the Grand Poobah, and we want him to sign and seal the contract, all right, to make the aerosexuals happy so we can see this fight once and for all. The boxing public needs this fight to happen. They need this fight to happen. So the next damning tweet, right, was Errol Spence. They cap to they want to be first with the story, so they'll say something about talking to a source close to negotiations. Now, to be honest with you, there has been language that was disseminated out here on the YTC that certain individuals, more than others, has always spoke about, having sources closest to this, that, and the other. There has been repeat offenders that have chosen to say this over and over again. Then you have the individuals also that said, okay, I have to be first. I want to be first on this. You know what I'm saying? It's always the ones that want to get the views, but now it's hit a dead end, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, times is changing, just like I put out there. Times are changing on this YTC. You're busy in a cul-de-sac right now when it comes to talking to your audience and thinking that you're going to build up the traffic. No, you're in a cul-de-sac. You're going around in a circle. The rotation has changed. You're moving, but you're pretty much progressing in a circle of motion. YTC is changing. There's individuals out here that want to be first in everything that he's referring to. And not only do they want to be first, that they're willing to sacrifice any integrity that they may have to lie. They would do it to lie. They would dress it up real nice in the title, though. They'll try to have people looking from afar and dress that title up like it's sunshine and rainbows. They'll be like, what's going on over there? You know what I'm saying? Wow. And then all of a sudden, the closer you get, the more inclement weather. And then once you up on it, it's pouring down raining, y'all. But from afar, the shit look like it's good. Like, dang, that's sunshine and rainbows right there. That's pretty cool. Dang, I ain't seen a rainbow in a minute. But then, as close as you get, you start saying, dang, I feel droplets. What's that, droplets? It started to drizzle on your ass. And then you get right up on it. It's motherfucking storming. It was a setup. I can see whoever wrote this post because we know who the cappers are. We know who out here lying. We know it. We know who the nutty ones are. We know this. Real talk. But it's about to get juicy, y'all. It's about to get juicy. It's real talk. It's about to get juicy. Y'all listen to YouTube. Them people know as much as you. It's entertainment. That's it. Now, how many lanes do we have to change on this one? You know what I'm saying? He's talking about YouTube again. So peep this out. Like, it was a moment, right, where the aerosexuals went through a moment of psychological depression, all because of Spence responding to a guy with facts after the guy said that these YouTubers is using their name, you know what I'm saying, and just trying to do it for viewers and subscribers, right? So he said facts. So these individuals didn't really, these aerosexuals didn't really take it as ownership. They was like, oh no, he can't be talking about us because we support him very heavy. We love him. We'll do anything for him. King. He's a king amongst kings. We love you. We love you. They didn't think. They was in denial. They did not think Errol was responding to them with facts. You know what I'm saying? But it was a time and a place where Bud Crawford responded to something. And then we had these meathead imbeciles running around here tomorrow. Well, Bud Crawford said that he was talking. I'm gonna act like he was talking to me. They tried to make it seem like all of a sudden Bud Crawford put something out open-ended and they want to take ownership. But when Errol Spence said facts to that user, that Twitter user, they act like they didn't know what the hell who he was talking to. So now Errol puts out a tweet and said, y'all listen to YouTube. True Media Today, USA Boxing. Coach Malachi in the building. What's good with it? Errol said, y'all listen to YouTube. Them people. Now, pay attention to them people. At this point in time, Errol Spence is separating himself from any association, including aerosexuals. He said them people. He is basically identifying the YouTubers as an entirely different entity. Pretty much he's separating himself to say, well, I don't really support any of that. They do what they want to do. They on their own program, and we really shouldn't pay that much attention to them. They ain't talking nothing. It's a bunch of BS. He said, y'all listen to YouTube. Them people know as much as you. He's pretty much saying, like, the YouTubers don't know anything more than anyone else. They may proclaim that they have sources, and some of us do. Some of us have sources. But you know what messes up telling our fans and to convince them that we're not out here elite bluffing is when people say they have sources and it be off some clickbait shit. They say they have sources that the fight announcement is going to be July 4th, and it doesn't happen. They have sources that the announcement is going to be September 4th, but it doesn't happen. They have sources that the fight going to happen in October. It doesn't happen. It's going to happen in November. It's not going to, it didn't happen. So, let's give a take. We got one more free round. It's going to happen in December on the Frank Martin card. That's when it's going to happen. That's when it's going to happen. It doesn't happen. So human beings are sitting up here saying, damn, I heard and I soaked up all that fake news, right? None of this shit happened, but you can't come back out here and speak to your listeners and say, you know what? I have an addiction for being an asshole. I ain't gonna lie. Like I can't control myself. Every time I get on here, I gotta lie about something. You have a lot of dudes out here that's being assholes, bro. They will say and do a lot of fake pumping. They will sit out here and lie to you. They will not apologize at all. So when Errol Spence is putting out a tweet separating himself from the YouTube people, I can understand where he's at with it. It may be some words that I say that he may not like, but I never proclaimed to be an extreme Errol Spence fan, right? So let me clear up this too while I'm at the YouTube, them people. Let me just basically summarize a quick point right quick. It was a rumor mill out there, right? That some aerosexuals was putting out there that somehow, some way, that I went up to Texas and I was mad at Errol Spence because he didn't give me an interview. I was supposed to get an interview, and I drove all the way up in Texas, right? Look, for a top ranked card, y'all, right? This is what I'm saying about the fake news. The aerosexuals, they're a lot of them, they some lying and some habitual liars, bro. They said I went all the way up there for an interview with Errol Spence, and they turned me down, right? Who in their right mind would drive all that way for a fighter that they never met, and the fighter never seen me, but I'm a small channel and I'm driving all the way up here to Texas and I ain't get an interview? What kind of sense does that make? But when you got a bunch of dummies in your chat, it sounds great. It sounds great. They say, okay, cool. You know, I believe them. I believe what they talking about. So I'm up there to cover TO. I have all the footage and everything. And the only thing I ever said about that situation that kind of holds true to why there has been dysfunctionality internal to the walls of the EJ camp, it's because of Derrick James, period. The shit happened with Blu-ray. Shit happened with Correa. This shit happened with multiple other people, right? Check this out. I went up there to cover TO, and as I was walking through with my credentials with a blazer, slacks on, and everything, because I've been at this for a minute now, credential approved, I seen Derrick James, and I said, I was about to say hello. I was about to say hello. And somehow I think Derrick felt some type of way, you know what I'm saying, about, I don't know, something he's seen on Facebook. Because back then I was on Facebook heavy, you know what I'm saying? I was on Facebook a little bit heavy too. So he might have seen something, but come to find out, this is the crazy part about the truth. I'm telling you the whole truth. Come to find out, it has something to do with Williams them being a part of Errol Spence them or something, you know, back in the day. And it was assumed that it was going to be a cohesive relationship. You know what I'm saying? That they was going to support. And this, I'm being honest, man. There's no knock on Williams them or whatever. This is the fact. Come to find out, this dude was mad at me over some shit that I didn't even know anything about. So he knew I supported Williams them. I was doing media on them, right? It got to a point where Junior was going out to B&B out there to train with Crawford them. And when they got out there, they liked it so much to the point where a text was put out, or a live or a post where he said, "This family." At that point in time, DJ never responded back to Williams Sr. at all. Y'all can ask him. It's a fact. So they was mad at Team Williams, and also I was covering them at the time, so I put it together because I never had interaction with Derrick. I never even met the dude until then. So when I came up there, he recognized me, and he pretty much shitted on me without even knowing me. But come to find out, it's because I covered Team Williams, and they felt some type of way when he said, "Oh, this family, Team Crawford, B&B, that's family." So he felt betrayed, and he never responded to them again. Okay, moving forward, a prominent figure of PBC came over. I'm not gonna mention his name, right? Because we got the admin boys up here always running and scurrying around. They came over to me, right? This is way back when now with T.O. fought Diego Magdaleno, right? He came over to me and said, "Hey, you wanna chop it up with Spence for a minute?" So I'm tying what I just heard with DJ, seeing his attitude, to Spence. So I never really had no conversation with Spence. So I go over there, I got my camera and everything. So I already knew what it was. I wasn't really expecting anything. Real talk. So I had my camera up and I have a picture of when he told Spence that, and Spence just freaking kept looking forward. Right? Now, granted, it's no footage you're gonna find of me supporting Errol Spence like I support Crawford. There's none. You're not gonna find it, right? So I had my camera up. So when he looked up at me with that look on his face, I didn't know what the fuck he was doing. I snapped the picture. Bing! He was looking directly in the camera about 50 yards away. So he just stayed where he was. I said, okay, cool. But that is not the reason why I speak on him the way I do. I speak on it because it's content that's relevant to the public. That's why I speak on it. So when you hear the aerosexuals, out here after they finish snorting, whatever they snorting, you know what I'm saying? Because they always doing something. They always under the influence of something. If it's being under the influence of ignorance, that's what it is. But they always under the influence, right? If you hear a false story out there that I went up there for an interview, that's a lie. I was up there and I had the footage. I covered T.O. the whole weekend. I even walked to the ring with Team Lopez. It was a grand moment. I wasn't even thinking about Spence them. It was a top ranked card. So if Errol Spence wasn't signed to top rank, so what does it have to deal with me? It has nothing to do with me. I didn't even know he was going to be on deck. I'm there for T.O. Period. I have the pictures in the locker room. Eddie Reynoso is there with Oscar Valdez, y'all. Come on, man. He didn't even have a belt yet. T.O. didn't even have a belt. Oscar didn't even have a belt. Richard Comey didn't even have a belt. But Andre Rozier and Richard Comey was to my right. Eddie Reynoso and Oscar Valdez is in front of me. And then you got Teofimo Lopez and his team is over here all the way to the left. I was there to cover them. Okay, moving on. Enough of me. I just had to get that truth out there. You know what I'm saying? Because them aerosexuals love lying on me. So Errol Spence feels some type of way about YouTube. I get it. I've always said with boxers, it's a very dysfunctional relationship that you will have when it comes to a fighter to media, because 1 minute they speaking of you in a healthy, you know what I'm saying, in a good nature, good healthy, light, and then the next they dragging you under a bridge somewhere, trying to explain to you, hey man, I'm just not feeling what you got going on. You're moving funny. You're moving funny. You know what I'm saying? These dudes think they have all the answers. But I'm not mad at Errol Spence for saying the YouTube people, them know as much, because some of these dudes only listen to others. So they'll say, okay, I know my source. I got sources. But where they sources at, it's the same person who's saying they sources are the ones who drop all the information. And see, this kind of ties in to what I've said several weeks ago about why haven't any of these guys on YouTube that had all the sources telling them negotiation details, line for line, period to period, why haven't we heard anything else come out in 2023? You haven't heard anything come out in 2023. That's besides the point. Moving on. It's about to get juicy. This guy brings up a tweet He said, "You the only one to blame for the car crash." Now, I didn't see the aerosexuals running down the street, you know what I'm saying, rolling, grabbing a barrel and rolling down the hill, right? In full-blown tactical gear, trying to knock down Daniel Suarez's door. I didn't see it. Daniel said, "You're the only one to blame for the car crash, bro." Now, this is where I have to go in the fork in the road with my thought process on this, right? Errol Spence's response was, "Duh, LOL. Duh." All right. He said, "Duh." Now, I don't know how to take this because I'm used to Errol replying with short answers, right? But for him to all of a sudden be acknowledging that he is going through a series of problems because of his accident, and he responds with "duh," a part of me saying that it may have been somebody else, and he was out doing, he was wherever he was doing, or it was him. My whole thing is I cannot fully commit to saying it was him because at this point I never experienced Errol Spence responding in the way he has, so lightly and so carefree to say, "Yeah, duh, I'm the blame for my car accident. Duh." I never heard that from him. I never really heard him give in like that. Right or wrong, we never heard him just respond as if, "Okay, you're right." Everybody knows that. No, everybody's not knowing that because it's not spoken on. The aerosexuals are forbidden. One of their bylaws, you know what I'm saying, in the aerosexual cult is that when they pick a topic that they're forbidden to speak on, they don't even entertain it. You know what I'm saying? They don't entertain it. And this is one of them. You will rarely find footage of an aerosexual saying something like Daniel Suarez, "You the only one to blame for the car crash." It's not as harsh as you would make it out to be. Real talk. I mean, it's just basically pointing the finger at him. And words are very, sharp. He basically said, "You the one to blame." And then Errol responded, "Duh." I look at it like, when have we ever heard Errol just say, "Duh, you're right. It is." Unless he wasn't in his right frame of mind or somebody else had his account. We just never heard him so carefree to respond to a total stranger like that. What is going on? Should we speculate that he has some other issues going on for him to respond the way he did so lightly? Like, this is almost a kind-hearted response, man, to someone who was being a bit nefarious. It is. Just look at it. Why would he be speaking about an accident right now when we're trying to find out if this contract, if these two fighters are actually signed up or whatever? Because we heard the lies recently about they never stopped negotiating and then they have restarted negotiations. Okay. So therefore, the anticipation is we're looking for that. We're looking for some type of breaking news as to if these fighters are going to be stepping in the ring this year. Not somebody like Suarez is saying, "You're the only one to blame for the car crash." That's fucked up, right? That's fucked up. He was being belligerent, but yet supposedly Errol Spence account, they responded, "Duh." That kind of took me for a loop. I'm not gonna lie, that took me for a loop with him saying "duh." I haven't really, I can't 100% put it out there, y'all, to say I truly believe that was him on his account. I can't say that. I can't say I totally believe that his girl may not. That sound like something, I'm not saying aerosexuals don't respond with "duh," but for a dudes really don't respond like "duh." somebody's accusing you of something, like, duh. No, I don't know, man. I can't, you know what I'm saying? I can't co-sign on that. Errol says, yeah, let me see how active you will be getting ejected out of a car whenever I come back. Won't be a tune-up. This is the wildest one of them all, right? Because you're talking about a fan saying something about Errol Spence not being active, right? So all of a sudden, we have conversation. Once again, this is news. This is new news. This is something that has not been repeated. This is something that we can't really put into the dang favorites and saying, okay, we heard this before. Let's put it in the archives and let's put a heart by it as the favorites so we can talk about it at a later date. No, we haven't seen this. They're saying, yeah, let me see how active you will be getting ejected out of a car. Isn't that what WCS has been saying? I've been saying this shit, bro. This is one of the realest tweets of this entire group. Look, he say, whenever I come back, won't be a tune-up. I don't care about the tune-up because I'm on record. I will say that Garcia and Udinese Ugas entered the ring with the orders. All right. But my whole point is the sentence and the half of when he said, let me see how active you will be getting ejected out of a car. He's basically finally coming to the realization that he has other issues that is active in his life while he's not in the ring. Didn't I say that? I tried to explain to the people that this man is going to continue to have residual effects. You just can't continue to look at it as if someone's just rambling. And what they're speaking on is just a gallimacious freaking dialogue that they having. No, this is real talk that I've been telling you all. I said this man is going to have residual effects. And this tweet right here is basically him identifying and in his own admission, he's saying, let's see how active you will be getting ejected out of a car. He's right. This man was ejected out of a car. We don't know the total speed because we wasn't in there. But he was unbuckled and his body at the time, I'm going to assume allegedly, he may have been unconscious at the time that the accident happened and he was ejected from the car. Now, it's not to say that he was conscious once he made contact with the pavement, but he may have came through semi-consciously with all the pain and the way he was feeling and all the damage and trauma that he took to his head, of course. Or they might have pulled up on the scene and he was unconscious. Either way it goes, it's a problem. My people, it's a problem. It's a problem, y'all. When he said, duh, in response to somebody basically pointing the finger at him, telling him he's liable. It was your fault. To this right here, for him responding the way he did, yeah, let me see how you see how active you will be getting ejected out of the car. That means he has issues going on. So like I said previously, no broken bones, I'm a savage. It's a daunting reality, huh? It's a daunting reality because let's play it this way. What if, and it's been said time and time again, right? That people, when they get injured and go through certain things with medication or what have you, and it's for a length of time over 30 days, right? And they get to a point where, depending on how much medication they're consuming, they may develop an addiction with that medication. I'm no way, shape, or form saying that is the case right here with Spence. I'm not. I'm just saying, what if it's a possibility that it may fall within the range? Everybody has their own introspective. You know what I'm saying? But the aerosexuals is not going to get up here and talk about it because they feel like it may be offensive. He's already separated himself from the YouTube community. So aerosexuals, it's okay for you to speak on this, bro. It may have came a point in time when him and his family thought it would be cool to check him out of the hospital against any doctor's wishes when he wasn't rehabbed correctly. For whatever the reason was, safety and all that, they wanted to check him out of the hospital. All right. You already heard the rumors. I'm not getting into the street shit. But they checked him out early, and this where I think a lot of bonding took place. Because when a person is at his lowest, especially a man, right? And you have a woman outside of your mother, and you have family around you, but you have a woman outside of your mother that is there in your darkest time, that she probably did what a lot of dudes wish a wife would do or your girl to do in that moment, take care of you, right? So I believe at that point in time, this is where that start to develop. Like a man needed this particular, company and attention because he was hurting. He was broken up. So when he put out that tweet that time that she was there when he was down at his low point or whatever, how he phrased it, don't quote me on that. I think that was a moment where she was there with him. And that is the reason why she is still around. But during that time that she was able to help this man and assist him back to health, for him to be able to function, he was checked out of the hospital ahead of time, prematurely, before he was absolutely healthy. And when you get checked out against the doctor's wishes, and then maybe you on some type of medication, who knows if the medication was monitored? But it seems to be something else going on here. You know what I'm saying? Because that certain medication, whatever he may allegedly was on, it can cause weight gain. It can cause water retention. Just because he made weight for your Venus Ugas means nothing. It's many ways for you to drop weight and get that shredded. My alarm and my antennas was up on how frail he looked over a month out before the Udenis Ugas fight. Kudos to them, but it didn't look healthy. That's why he was struggling early on in the fight when Udenis Ugas was catching him with those punches and he was hurt and his mouthpiece was back there where the AC units were. And they had to wait for it to return back. And they rinsed it out and put it back in his mouth to the point where Lawrence Cole gave the command stop. At that point of him telling Udenis Ugas to stop, the beating commenced. But see, Bud Crawford is not signed to PBC. He's not signed to TGB. Bud, I'm gonna go out on a like an honor scout. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say I cannot see Bud Crawford at no way, shape, or form receiving the orders. It's not in me, as far as assuming from what I see and the way he handled himself with integrity and sportsmanship, how he treats the sport as one of the elite fighters in the world, pound for pound best. I don't ever see him taking the orders like I seen Danny Garcia and Udenis Ugas. I don't see him taking the orders. So this is why this WBO belt is extremely difficult for Errol Spence to get motivated to go in here and take this L. Yeah, I said it. It's extremely difficult for him to go in here and take this L, y'all. Bud Crawford is no joke. This is detrimental to this man's entire career to leave the welterweight division with one loss by the one and only name that you procrastinated over and over again and you truly didn't want to step in the ring with. Not so much to the point where he was scared. It's the fact that he may not feel deep down inside that he can beat the guy. It seems like it's been like that for a long time because he chose the easy route. So when you drive this route, right, it don't matter what the dang what the damn the temperature in the season is. When you get to the destination, it's going to be an issue because the destination has the same format. You have to step out, go through fight camp, split the ropes, get the fighter's introduction, answer the bell, and go in there and attempt to retrieve that last world title that you want so bad. Unfortunately, it's in the possession of a fighter that has greater skills than yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's in possession of a fighter that is as versatile as you are. And at this point, I don't think Errol Spence has confidence in himself that he can go through a fight camp and step in there and beat Bud Crawford, especially the condition that he has. You know what I'm saying? Like, see, people will screen record this shit, and then when he get knocked out, they'll come back and say, well, you admitted that he had residual effects going on for the accident. You're right. He does. So combine the punishment he's going to take inside the ring with Crawford to what he received from the accident is going to be all bad. It's going to be all bad. So if you're looking at the entire way that 2022 played out with the failed negotiation, them moving this to 2023, it was a hopeless attempt to try to get Errol Spence in shape to try to, add time to the clock, so to speak, because he wasn't in a position where they had faith that he can go in training camp to take this fight early part of this year. Come on, man. This is not anything that's being fabricated, bro. Look at it. It's no charade. This is real. This is real shit. Just think about it. This man, on the night that Crawford stepped in the ring with Amnesia and took his shirts down, suppose he had an accident. After the accident, he told people that 4 days after the accident, he was going to announce the big fight. What fight? It couldn't have been him and Crawford. What big fight? Crawford had just stepped out the ring. What big fight? So you want to play this mind game that, well, people want to say it possibly could have been him and Crawford because they never stopped talking? No, we can't say that. So we could go to step number 2. Was it Keith Thurman? Were you insinuating once again that you was going to fight Keith Thurman, being that you've been on record to say take the L out of Lover, it's over? So this man has showed no signs that he really wants to step in the ring with Keith Thurman because he's still pouting about Keith, treating him as a side chick, and say, man, don't come around here. No. I get to you whenever I get to you. Go on back out there, play. He's still holding grudges that Keith Thurman didn't want to acknowledge him to step in the ring. Who does that? Who does that? Like, real talk, Spence. This is a big question to you. Who does that, Spence? You have one belt and you want to step up to the plate with the man. And just because this man didn't give you the open hallmark that you wanted, you feeling some type of way. But yet and still, when Bud Crawford stepped to you for the same hallmark and he want that smoke with you, you said you pretty much taking the easy route. So how much of a hypocrite are you to still be mad at Keith Thurman because he didn't acknowledge your presence and let you step in the ring to try to fight for the unified titles when you pretty much did the same thing to Crawford? Crawford was there in your face and he wanted the smoke, but you said you wanted to take the easy route and pick up the other belt. Does that shit make sense? It'll never make sense, especially to the ones who really know. You know what I'm saying? The only people that don't make sense is the aerosexuals. Real talk. Let me go over here to the chat right quick. Shout out to everyone who tuned in. Make sure y'all hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you hit the like button. Fanboy Slayer. He say, but we all know Dookie, ookie, ookie. Hoo, hoo, hoo. Every time I see you, Dookie, Dookie, Duke, Duke. See, every time y'all put Dookie in the chat, it make me want to sing, man. That Dookie, Duke. How are you, Dookie? Dookie Brown TV will deflect from these facts. Oh yeah, you know, see, Dookie was the one that was always talking about he had Errol Spence's freaking, you know, he can text Errol and Errol text him back. I get it, I get it, I get it. You know what I'm saying? You may have the man's freaking MySpace account. You feel me? He may have Errol Spence's MySpace account. He may have a number, a Google Voice number to go to one of, you know, EJ's people, and they pretend like they do on Twitter. They will respond back to him as if it's EJ. That's the only thing that's going on. Don't look too far into it. Bill's Boot Camp, what's good? He said, not DJ. They supposed to be pro-black, righteous brothers and builders. Shaking my head. They guys been different. Yes, sir. You know, they went out there and attempted to spread their propaganda on me. When last time I checked, Errol Spence never was signed with Top Rank. So being that I have all the evidence and the receipts, who would have known that EJ was there at the Top Rank card, and his so-called trainer was back there, angry man himself. Like, they'll get mad. Look, they get mad and angry at a regular guy for putting it out there. You know what I'm saying? Blue Blood want to sit up here and spread bogus ass lies, but he won't get on Derrick James for what he said about Kenny Porter. What he said about Sean Porter, talking about come over here. You talking about somebody's son, and you saying come over here, you know, for somebody who's going to treat you right. So when Kenny Porter pulled up on him, it got real different. But none of these niggas was talking about it in a way that they was going to give their true input, not favoritism and bias. True. But see, it's too much been going on with the asshole aspect of it. The shit that happened with Blu-ray. When Blu-ray was there, shit, Errol Spence was in top tip condition. But when he didn't follow the DJ guidelines, he was ousted. He was ousted. Blu-ray was ousted. Blu-ray said they wanted to work with the white boys. Blu-ray was ousted. But when Blu-ray was in the house, oh shit, goddamn Errol Spence condition was tight. You never would have seen Errol walking around here like this. Blu-ray had that dude tight, low body fat, all that. And then all the rumor mills you hear about falling out inside the camp, and you know, people can only say this, that, and the other, and then they didn't want no YouTubers up in there. So the ones that they brought from across the pond to go up there and do media, they had their own contraption. They had hidden cameras. They up there recording the sparring. I wonder how DJ felt then. Anyway, want to go to Dubai, baby? The Wab. They've been pushing lies on people, came forever over there. But one thing about lying on people, their lies have to change, especially when the truth remains the same. Keep building and crushing the work shows. Talk that, man. To spit that fire, bro. You know what I'm saying? Caps in full. What's good with it? You know what I'm saying? They've been in denial, no doubt, bro. Bruce Gass say it affected many boxers, and Spence isn't above reproach. Talk that, man. Provide that wisdom, you know, Bruce. Let them know. People pick and choose on who they want to say this hating. Somebody can be speaking to them in a way that they fully understand it, right? And this, it doesn't sound malicious. It's not extremely abrasive. None of that. It's just basically man shit. You talking to them and you explaining certain situations. You just giving your opinion, and they're turning and say, "Oh, so and so hating on Spence." I'm not hating. If this is indeed from his account, and he is the one responsible for his account, then he is acknowledging the same that I put out there already. He's saying it was his responsibility. It was his fault that he had an accident. He said that. But if I put the information out there to these content creators, which majority of them are somewhat similar shade to myself as Black content creators, they try themselves to try them their best to push a narrative that people are hating on them, and they take links and send them to them, and all of a sudden after last night, I mean, shit, you sitting up here hearing all this shit come out after yesterday. Could he be at a point of resignation? Is he resigning now? Will we ever see this man back in the ring? Because he doesn't seem confident to me. I'm just being honest. He doesn't seem like he's going to be back. Let's go to the next tweet. I don't know what this means. I'm chill until I get. I don't know where this came from. Like, I'm not going to sit up here and try to put a jacket on it. I'm chill until I get. That seems like a female. Like, I'm chill until I get some Casamigos in me. You get that Casamigos in me. God damn. I don't know how to take this. Like, you chill until what? To what? You're chill until what exactly? I don't know how to put this into perspective. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to interpret it for the listeners on what this is about. Okay. So I'm going to let it be. I'm going to get back to the comments. Greg said he isn't scored. He never thought he could win. He isn't scared. He never thought he could win. I agree. You know what I'm saying? It's a different type of fearfulness, right? It can be the fear that you're going to step inside with one of the most elite fighters that you ever fought in your career, and you're unsure yourself. You're lacking confidence in who you are as a person. Now, that does have fear to it. That does add fear, but not in the form of I'm scared. I'm not courageous enough to go in there and fight this fight. You know, me and him both are boxers, but I'm just scared to step in there. I don't think it's that. I think, you know, skill for skill, experience to experience. Arrow will go in there and fight. He'll go in there and box. But with this, it's quite different because he understands that the boxing IQ of Terrence Crawford is such a high level, along with his versatility and being how strong that he's demonstrated with his opponents. You know, in comparison to them having a common opponent such as Sean Porter, and Sean Porter always being and playing the part, you know, being in shape and all that, and how he chose to somehow want to fight Sean Porter's fight. And it was a rough, tough, knock 'em, sock 'em, drag out fight. Whereas Bud Crawford had a different approach. He boxed him, he started touching him up, and then he closed him out. You know what I'm saying? At this point in time, seeing that he was the first one to stop a common opponent that Errol Spencer stepped in the square with, it may be some extreme fear because he wasn't able to do that. He won via a split decision. Bud Crawford won exclusively via knockout. A knockout is exclusive to the person who delegated it. He won exclusively via stoppage. Not so much when it comes to Errol Spence. I'm just saying. Imagine if he do that against Bud. Ugas had EJ punch drunk, looking for his mouthpiece. Then EJ stated he was hurt. Then the reporter asked Ugas, as it was happening, looked surprised and scared. Please go back and view. Salute. Man, it's a lot of you know, behind, you know, look, it's a lot of speculation we can take with that. What I do know, I'm speaking for myself, right? Samad, I'm just saying he had the orders. Man, when Lawrence Cole reminded him that he was under orders, man, he froze up because look, they're boxers at the end of the day, right? They being punched. At that point in time, as a boxer, Yordenis Ugas was seeing the same thing that Vladimir Klitschko was seeing when he was fighting Anthony Joshua. He was there to play a part, to play a role. And when once the bell sounded and he started to play the part, he said to himself, wow, I'm fucking this dude up. Damn. Shh. I mean, at a point in time, Vladimir was like, man, this is what I'm about to become champion again. Before he was reminded that he was there on orders. And that's when the fight was stopped in the 11th round. And Joshua picked up the WBA. Come on, stop it. When Yordenis Ugas heard that stop from Lawrence Cole, it was over. His body froze up. You know what I'm saying? Because he looked over there to the apron, and somebody was probably looking at him like, okay, that's what I thought. Don't play. Don't play. I hope he's not talking about getting undisputed. I don't know, man. I cannot tie it all in, on that last tweet. That's a good question. I'm chill until I get. Like, I'm chill. What are you chilling about? I don't know, man. Like, I'm chill until I get what? You just can't say you're going to get undisputed. That's way out the question. You have to earn. You have to go through the darkest, the darkest area, the darkest dead spaces you ever traveled in your boxing career to go in there and fight Terrence Crawford. It's going to be an extremely tough fight. It's going to be 12 rounds. This is for everything. We have to understand. Errol understands this is going to be a life or death situation for him, because we've seen him fight his fight, and that is come forward, come forward, come forward. He just doesn't have plan B's and C's and D's that he can go through and switch it up to try to disrupt whatever else Terrence Crawford got going on, to try to confuse, disorientate Terrence Crawford. I don't see him being that type of professor at all. I see him being taught by the professor, but I don't see him being the professor stepping in the ring with Crawford. I know the aerosexuals don't want to freaking believe it, but that's just the way I feel. Shout out to Haynes Legacy in the building, man. What's good? Salute Haynes on deck. Yes, sir. Salute you, man. One love with the $5 super chat on deck, man. I appreciate you, big dog. Thanks for supporting the channel, man. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to you and your family, bro. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you and your family. We do have some individuals that's up here. I want to say they're aerosexuals under ghost accounts. Look, what am I supposed to do if you come over here and you submit an insult on Bud Crawford? Clearly, you don't understand my mentality when it comes to that. I'm not here to be security of another grown-ass man who compete on the highest level of boxing. So I would suggest you take the comment and find his DMs and tell him. Why are you over here telling me, bro? You know what I'm saying? Don't tell me. I'm going through some of these freaking comments, man. I forgot this guy right here, D Bevel. D Bevel, the champ on deck with a $2 super chat. Yes, sir. I see you. What happened to the Thurman fight? What a fraud. Yes, a very, very good question. Me and my colleagues want to know also, what happened to the Thurman fight? What happened? We heard you say that you was going to make a big announcement 4 days after the accident. So he's basically saying if the accident didn't happen, he would have made the announcement, right? So 4 days after the car accident, he say that he was going to make a big fight announcement. who were you going to fight? Why all of a sudden you said stuff started to hurt? Why haven't we received any more breaking news from all the aerosexuals with their sources? And when is the next time that you're going to be stepping in the ring? Where is it? Where's the info? Shout out to D Bevel the Champ, man, with the $2 super chat. Shout out to Haynes Legacy with the $5 super chat. One love to y'all. Appreciate you. He heard us on the B Mac show and apologized to us. That's what that was. Dang, dog. He got the apology. Shout out to Tyrese, man. The car crash was equivalent to 3 KOs the way Fundora lost last week. You put it at 3, bro? I'm be honest with you, Tyrese. There's no way that you can put such a low number on the car crash. Look, someone being punched and caught with a 3-punch combination is nowhere close to being ejected from a vehicle and landing on the pavement. Nowhere even close, big dog. It's nowhere even close, man. You can't even put a number on the impact of him being ejected from a car and hitting the pavement. You can't compare that to someone landing a punch comparable to the velocity of a car ejecting a human being onto the pavement. It's not even a number, bro. I'm just being honest, man. It's not even a number you can put on, especially 3. You can't do that. Man, that is natural velocity right there. Like, oh man, everything about that scenario is dangerous, man. Everything about it. Crawford dropped that picture. He had to pop his head out. His hole on Twitter. He did, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at it. Look at this. I know I put this up here the other day, but look at that, bro. Look at it. That in itself is a natural reaction to someone showing him that Terrence Crawford has dropped a photo, 8-pack and all, in 2023. This is the dude that they're saying moving funny. And I said, I guess he moving funny all the way into the gym and getting work. You know what I'm saying? Not in a parking lot, on live accidentally, looking like your head weighs 100 pounds itself. I'm just saying, bro. I had to really do some photoshopping because when I initially extracted his face, it took up too much of the thumbnail. You know what I'm saying? So in order for me to get a respectable picture of Bud Crawford on the thumbnail, I had to downsize, shrink, compress. I had to find a way to make space because Bud Crawford's in shape, obviously. He's in shape, bro. He's in shape. I ain't lying. My wife said, thanks. She like watching you too. Hey, appreciate it, man. You know, like I said, shout out to you and the fam, bro. I remember those days, man. Shout out to you and the fam. Hope everybody's doing great. You hears me? You know what I'm saying? Much respect to that military family over there, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, we're less than 1 day out from the year anniversary of him stepping in the ring last April. Big Blunts and Boxing says Spence tweet stripped me the day Bud posts himself in the gym. Spence scared as hell. Hey, that's a solid point, bro. Like, you know, all of a sudden we hearing strip me. Somebody's telling him, you know, he's inactive and they're dropping numbers. They're basically telling this man how many fights he's had in this amount of years. And look, being the recipient of that, hell yeah, I'm feeling some type of way. Because at one point in time, they was talking about man down. But that was when his opponents was actually dropping. That's what you would call mid-tier opposition. You know what I'm saying? He was knocking dudes down. He was stopping them. But once you increase competition, you know what I'm saying, you start fighting the higher tier fighters, the knockouts stop. And this is not WCS just telling you, it's the fact that Errol Spence said it hadn't been man down in a minute. He was being fair. He was saying it hadn't been man down in a minute. So somehow, some way, this other stamp of approval came on deck, and he wanted to label himself the big fish. Why somebody wants to be a dish, I don't understand, but he wanted to label himself a big fish. So the aerosexuals jumped for joy and said, "Oh man, I love that. I love that. A big fish. Oh man, I like it. It's really catchy. Oh, he has shirts." All the aerosexuals, you know, deducted from their mortgage and their car insurance and say, "You know what? I think I can afford this." How what's the price for 2 shirts again? It's $324.50. Wow. Let me see. Let me see if I could deduct that. If I buy just 1 loaf of bread instead of 2, let me see. What can I do to save? If I can drink tap water instead of Essential or Fiji, I can get away with buying some water. So I'm just going to drink tap water with a filter. And let me see what else to do. The kids not going to have any cereal for the entire month. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to give them one fried egg, and they can have the protein they need with that. But look, they start cutting their expenses, dog. The aerosexuals start cutting their expenses when it came to those shirts, man. These dudes was deducting from car insurance and mortgages, bro. Let me see what the weather has been. Do we really need heat? Do we really need heat? Not really. I have the kids put on a jacket. I haven't put on a jacket. You know what I'm saying? We got some beanie caps laying around here. Throw on a Scully in the house, man. I say about 60 days. That should give me time to catch back up. You know what I'm saying? But I'm getting these shirts, man. I'm getting these shirts. God damn it. I'm getting the shirts. Hell yeah. Nobody can tell me anything. I'm purchasing me a shirt. You couldn't tell the aerosexuals anything, bro. They was going to get the big fish shirt. But the problem is that you chose to remove the shirts. And that was a telltale sign for me. This is when it became an obvious point of concern, when Terrence added another knockout to his resume, and somehow Errol Spence took to social media to say that he is removing the shirts and taking them down. Now, let's be intelligent, right? Let's be intelligent now. Check this out. If the fight was still going on and they never stopped negotiations, what does a shirt have to do with anything? If you still have aerosexuals out there willing to sacrifice the food out of their kids' mouths, you know what I'm saying? It's no soap in the house. You are using and telling your children, oh, in Africa, they just go to the local springs. They don't use soap. So let's just focus on showers, and you take it that way. We will get soap in 60 days. If the aerosexuals were supporting the shirts, and the aerosexuals out here reporting that negotiations never stopped because somehow Steven Espinosa put it out there, and then where's this other one right here? Where's this other one? Where's this other one? Is this it right here? No, that's me being me. Let me see. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Is this it? This is it. Let me take this comment down. This is when they say Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford contract talks have reportedly now restarted with both sides. Hopefully, that's the fight can be finalized. However, it's claimed Spence versus Keith Thurman is tentatively scheduled for June 17th as backup. Now, if y'all never stopped negotiation or y'all was in negotiation, what does the shirts have to do with anything? When you want to keep the shirts up there, if you was planning on stepping in the square circle with Terrence Crawford, yes, right. So it doesn't make any sense why you would remove the shirts from being sold, unless you have basically washed your hands with that fight and you said, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to fight this guy. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, bro. Somehow, some way, in between time, someone convinced him to pull the plug. Real talk. I don't know if it was a Yelp review that was read to him, that people was complaining that if it's Crawford behind the door, then sign the contract. I don't like how you moving. Somebody might have told him, I don't like how you moving. He might have got offended by that. But was it a Yelp review? I don't know. But all of a sudden, he took the shirts down, bro. Why? If the fight is still going on and you're the big fish, and that's supposed to be Crawford behind the last door, keep him up there if negotiations is ongoing. It doesn't make any sense at all, bro. It doesn't make any sense at all to no one as to why you remove those shirts from online. What you did to the aerosexuals was like a dart to the heart, bro. I'm gonna tell you, they Man, they said free us, bro. Bro, there was content creator that actually superimposed cross face on the picture and said he wasn't in fighting shape. Wow, talk about reaching. He was responding to Spence's face with three chins. Wow, are you serious, man? You actually have individuals going to that extent. I didn't have to superimpose anything. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have to superimpose anything. That was pretty much easy, extremely easy. You know what I'm saying? This was just like extraction, paste. You know what I'm saying? This was extremely easy, man. But I think either way, if he was right in front of him, just as they were in front of Bob Arum and them, and Bud Crawford reached his hand out there, to grab hold of the mixed section, the bread basket of Errol, and he said, "Oh, you're fat." And then, I guess Errol attempted to reach out, and his hands end up coming out with air. He's like, "Oh shit, this dude in shape." I think that was a moment too. That was a turning point too. I'm not gonna lie. I think that was a turning point too. Truth be told, I think it was a turning point, man. He said, "God damn, this dude is lean as hell. He's ready. He's in shape." But unfortunately, there, Haynes, the aerosexual is gonna take drastic measures, bro. I must forewarn you there, Haynes. They're gonna take drastic measures, brother. Because right now, they want to talk about what I'm talking about, but it's they have to come up with the content. They just can't come up with the language and how to explain why his head looked as heavy as it did when it was leaning over to see that he was on live. They don't know what words to put together, period. They don't know. Jared the real Big Baby Anderson got into a car accident before he fought last week and then pulled out of his fight. Hey, so what you trying to say? So you saying that the accidents were the same? Because listen, I didn't see Big Baby in the intersection on IG Live. So they must have kept that hush hush. That's good. But this was somewhat like the third serious accident he's been in. Oh my God, man. This was like the third, right? This is like the third accident he's been in. It's just a lot that goes into this, man, trying to process it. Like, I would have believed it a bit more if they would have had a police report or a news article that was highlighting this accident. I would like to have seen this rogue 14-year-old stunt driver. And I really wanted to submit paperwork to go to the same school he attended. Like, how did this guy know how to drive like that? For him to seek out, close with, and destroy Errol Spence's front end of his vehicle. Why wasn't this guy's name somewhere in the Texas Tribune that he was the one who basically sabotaged Errol Spence and Keith Thurman? He was the sole proprietor of that. He is responsible for sabotaging the fight, bro. I'm still mad. Because at least if Spence would have fought Keith Thurman, we would have seen how he looked in there with the former unified champion, right? But that didn't happen. I'm just saying, I'm still looking. He must not know anything about the human anatomy, and that means face are supposed to look like that. Man, that's not cool. You know what I'm saying? The way he's looking, his eye even look like, I don't know what that's about. His eyes even red. What's that's about, man? I don't know, man. What's that's about? They would have had to have a police report in order to know how old the child was. Of course. And then peep this out that I didn't understand, Haynes. I didn't understand how the driver, right? Let's just say there's an accident at the intersection. So this 14-year-old kid crashed the car and he kept going. I mean, how is it still mobile? Did he flee the scene? Like initially, you talking about a 14-year-old. 14-year-old can be 5'8" on up. You know what I'm saying? They can look like an adult. So if someone crashed into your car and stayed at the scene, why didn't you just, when you was IG live, why you didn't record the other vehicle? So we could have put, you know, one and one together. Okay, you have Spence's vehicle, you have his vehicle, or his parents' vehicle. All right, cool, we got it. But we didn't see any other vehicle on the scene, man. That's a bit strange to a lot of people. Seriously. Spence knew the kid was 14 at the time of the video. So you trying to say he was a co-conspirator? Are you daring to insinuate that it was premeditated? You're not saying that. You're not saying it was premeditated. It's no way it could be premeditated. No, it's no way, man. We cannot put that jacket on this man that it was premeditated. Look, pre-assigned. You know what I'm saying? Look, pre-approved. You cannot put all those prefixes on him that he already knew who the 14-year-old was ahead of time. Look, they already knew what color the vehicle was, what type the vehicle was, the speed, the entry speed that was going to be taken, and the amount of damages that was going to be applied to his vehicle. It had to happen. Drastic measures. Drastic times call for drastic measures. And this is a perfect example on how a 14-year-old stunt driver sabotaged the fight. It's bad, man. It's absolutely bad. Seriously, it's bad. But my people, I will definitely touch bases back probably later on, but I got some things I got to take care of. Y'all have absolutely been the greatest live chat. Thank you for your comments, man. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button on your way out. Continue to support WCS. And one more thing. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. People telling me they sub to the channel and all that. My subscriber count doesn't move. That's not that people's not subscribing to the channel. It's something else. It's no way it stays that way. But hey, what do I know? The subscriber count never moves, dog. It's not because people are not subscribing to the channel. I'm telling you. There's something other in the freaking Bermuda Triangle of YouTube as the reason why it doesn't happen. But I appreciate the support, and you already know, like, if you want to support the channel via Cash App, it is up there. You know what I'm saying? WC Sports. I appreciate everyone who tuned in, and y'all stay close to social media. And Big Blunts and Boxer, man, appreciate you go for dropping me the info. Real talk, appreciate you. I got you. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you. Till next time, turn up and tune in to World Combat Sports, man. I'm out.